Welcome to CMIS 106 Object Design and Programming for the fall of 2021. I am your instructor, Stephen Sell. Just so you're aware, this course is actually taught by a number of faculty at Frederick Community College, and I am one of those faculty. I am an adjunct. Most of the faculty are full-time. And this course has a course coordinator. So because of that, we try to make sure that the course closely aligns to how all sections are taught. So because of that reason, you'll see some content in here that is required in the course. So just be aware of that as you go through the next 13 weeks, that the setup in the course is structured so that the experience across all sections of 106 is similar to a certain degree. So when you log into the course in Blackboard, you will see it should default to announcements, and the way it looks right now may be slightly different depending on when you're logging in. So it may not look exactly like this. So I'm going to go over to the left-hand side and call your attention to some important things that you need to look at. So you'll see the Start Here button, and really all that's here is going to be this video that you're watching right now. The area underneath that called Weeks is going to be probably your go-to throughout most of the course. So right now when you go to Weeks, you'll just see Week 1, but you will see Weeks go and be added as we go. So this course, I've taught it for numerous semesters for quite some time now, but this is the first time I've taught it with the new structure, so I have to kind of build the plane as we're flying it, so to speak, to some degree. So right now, as the time of me making this video, you only see week 1. Hopefully you'll see a couple more weeks here by the time you're watching this, but if not, you'll at least have the first week, maybe 2. You'll also see announcements, syllabus, course materials, email, my grades, course evaluation, faculty. I'm going to go through some of these here today in this video. I'm going to jump down to faculty and just show you really what you see here is just contact for me. Being an adjunct, I'm not on campus. Sometimes I am, but right now, this semester, I am not. I'm strictly online. Even if I was on campus being an adjunct, the best way to reach me is by email and ask me questions. I try to be pretty responsive to emails, so feel free to email me anytime you have a question. I encourage you to. And you should get a response to me in a pretty timely manner. I try to be pretty good about responding to email. In the syllabus, you will see the posting of the syllabus, which I'm going to go through that here in a few moments. Course materials, you really won't see a ton of information here that's valuable to you, and you can look at it, but pretty much all that's in here right now is quizzes and exams. I'm probably going to be structuring some of this as much as I'm allowed to within the confines of what the course coordinator allows. But I have links to pretty much anything that's in here anyway. So that's kind of the big stuff to look at. You will see announcements appear as we go through the course right now. Some things to call to your attention that are pretty important is the welcome announcement. So some things to point out here is that, and I'll be talking about some of this in other upcoming videos, you will be expected to purchase access to a Udemy course. So the Frederick Community College decided, along with our department, to do away with a set textbook, and instead we are using a video on demand series in Udemy. So you will be expected to purchase that video on demand series. The work in Udemy will not be tracked, but if you don't complete it, it will definitely affect your success in the course. So you want to make sure that you actually purchase access to that and that you do the work in Udemy, and you should be doing that as you go before you attempt graded assignments. So you need to make sure you take advantage of every single resource, the Udemy videos, any video that I provide, reading material, practice code, code examples. You need to look at all that, try it out, do it, and that'll help you be more successful. If you don't do those things and you try to do the assignments without having gone through that information, you're definitely putting yourself at a major disadvantage. So also, I'm going to be recommending to my students, actually, I'm going to be requiring to some degree that you use a tool called Replit Teams. Replit has a free side that is not part of Teams. And again, I'll be explaining this in another video separately. But you have the ability to use Replit. Again, I'll explain this in another video so it'll make more sense as to what Replit is. But you will have access to this as a utility to use to submit the graded coding assignments. And again, I'll have a video on Replit. So if you don't know what that is, that'll make more sense when you watch the video on that. I want to stress that all work is due by the end of each week, and I kind of treat a week that starts on a Tuesday and ends on a Monday. And the reason for that is I've had students in the past ask me to give them the complete weekend to do work. So it's a little weird, but I kind of treat a week as starting on a Tuesday and ending on a Monday. So I will tell you that I do not accept late work. So you need to plan to turn work in by 11:59 p.m. on the end of the week, which is a Monday evening. So we're trying to condense 15 weeks, not into 5 weeks. That's a typo. It should say 13 weeks. So you really can't get behind because we're already on a shortened time frame, not quite to 5 weeks, but we are on a shortened time frame. So you really can't afford to get behind. So I'll have to fix that to 13 weeks, not 5 weeks. Sorry about that. So please do not wait until the last day to start your work. I suggest that you try to complete your work by Friday or Saturday if at all possible. That way you have some buffer time if you get stuck on something or have a problem. You're in a computer science course, so you should be preparing and planning for the possibility of some kind of setback. You should have a backup plan for the possibility that technology may fail you. That means that you should plan to have another device to access material. If you don't have that, you can come onto campus and use the labs at FCC. That includes possibly losing connectivity. You can come on campus, or you could have a backup plan, like have a backup device or have a backup access point, like whether it's a Panera Bread or a Starbucks. Have some kind of backup plan. You need to be prepared for that. And if you wait to start your work on the day it's due, it's going to be difficult to do that. So you need to try to complete your work by Friday or Saturday. That way you have Sunday and Monday as a buffer, if at all possible. Also, please do not send me any work through email. You need to make sure you submit work through Blackboard. I do not accept any work by email. Everything I assign has some kind of process through Blackboard. I do not accept work through email. So make sure you plan to submit work through Blackboard. If you're not familiar with Blackboard, there is a set of tutorials that you should go through if you are new to Blackboard or if you have questions on how Blackboard works. Also, when we're speaking about Blackboard, when you submit assignments, I actually have an announcement here that talks about how to submit assignments in Blackboard. So if you're confused on that, then you need to look at that. Also, this is strictly an online course, so you need to be somewhat of a self-starter because you are in an online setting. This says CMIS106. I need to fix that. I am really sorry. I need to fix that mistake there. That's another course that I teach. All right, so let's take a look at what a typical week is set up. And I'm going to make a video later breaking down the specificity of week one, but since week one's the only week folder that I have set up right now, I just want to give you a rough overview of what you see in a week. So you will see at the top of each week the dates for the week. You'll see that here, for example, week 1 goes from September 7th to the 13th. You'll see information about things you should be doing, what the topics are for the week, as well as material you should be reading, and what Udemy videos you should be watching. Again, I'll have a video explaining what Udemy is all about, and you'll need to watch that. And then other tasks you should be doing that may not necessarily be related to Udemy, but also important things you should be doing. And probably one of the most important things for you is what is due for the week. So you can see here in week 1, this is what's due for the week. Most weeks will be set up very similar to that. You'll have an idea right here as to what is due. You also see any kind of reading material. Now, there isn't any coding in week 1. There's no code examples or code challenges outside of what's in Udemy, but you will see some weeks that have like coding examples or other practice code you can try out. You'll see that, but you'll also see the assignments, such as this online self-assessment and enrolling in this Udemy course and joining Replit and this other assignment as well as this quiz. So this is a typical layout of what each course is like. You also see you have access to looking at your grades at any point. You need to check your grades on a regular basis. I try to grade work as timely as I can. If work is due on a Monday evening, I try to grade it by the end of that week so you have time to get an idea on what the feedback is. You should look at that and look at your grades, look at the feedback I give you so you know how to tweak and move forward from there. So I'll be making other videos to break down specificity of week 1. You'll see other videos explaining how Udemy works, what it's all about, as well as this Replit thing. And I'll also be making a video explaining this first assignment in Replit Teams. Just a brief word about the online self-assessment. This is basically here for me to get an idea that you are aware of the importance of you being somewhat of a self-starter. Because you're in a strictly online course, you need to make sure that you spend the time doing the work that is given to you and that you're able to do that. You need to ask questions as quickly as possible when you do have questions. Please do not wait until the last minute to ask questions. All right, so that's pretty much it for an introductory video, and I'll be making some other videos to explain some of this other material that you need to get started. I will constantly remind you that you can always email me with questions. Anytime you have a question, send me an email. Don't hesitate to communicate with me. I'll see you in the upcoming videos.